Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, man, hit that subscribe button, brother. Stick around for a while. To all my subscribers, thank you. This video is going to be on where I would start if I was 50 pounds plus overweight. Because guess what? I've actually been there, guys. I was fat as shit like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to put the thumbnail, actually, to this video of me when I was at my absolute worst, my worst shape. And I was a fat piece of shit, let me tell you. I was at least 50, 60 pounds overweight. I was walking around like 260, which, I'm 6'2", so it's not huge, but it's like I was just fat. My body composition was terrible. I couldn't breathe. I was even smoking cigarettes. I was just, again, a fat piece of shit. So this is going to be how I lost that weight. And I'm not telling you should do this because honestly, it might not have been the best way, but I'm just going to tell you what I did, and it worked, and it worked fast. Because at this point, I had decided I'm done being a fat piece of shit. I need to get this weight off, and I need to get it off now. So if you're in a similar position, listen up, man. We can get this done. So what I did, now this is extreme, but I decided to cut out carbs completely. And I did this, immediately. I went from, eating tons of carbs, not keeping track of my protein, nothing, to immediately tracking all my macros, zero carbohydrates, focusing on whole foods, meats and vegetables, basically. And, this worked pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. I found myself, starting to lose weight without even really trying. I wasn't really counting calories at this point, just keeping track of macros, trying to make sure, I was, again, hitting no carbohydrates and getting at least adequate protein, which isn't hard to do when you're essentially keto, not eating carbohydrates, because most of the food that you're eating has protein in it anyway, right? So it's pretty easy to get that protein in. But so I did this, and on top of the diet, I started hitting 2-a-day exercises. I'm talking cardio session in the morning, weight training, in the afternoon, at night, basically, after I was done working. So I would, run in the morning, go to work, lift weights at night, on top of the extreme diet changes. And, with all of these things combined, right, the diet, the crazy exercise, I lost weight, man. I lost it fast. I really did. And I was 100% natural at this point, I went from being a fat piece of shit to being a scrawny string bean, to be honest with you. Barely had any muscle. I had a six-pack, a little bit of definition, whatever, but I was flat as shit, obviously, because I wasn't eating carbohydrates. For those of y'all that don't know, carbohydrates are super important in muscle fullness. It's our muscles store glycogen, which is basically carbohydrates, sugars in the muscle, and it's responsible for giving us, a full look. So a lot of people on keto, if you're not eating carbohydrates, you get very flat. And this happened to me. But I was able to drop those 50 to 60 pounds of fat in about 3 months, right? So was that, healthy? Not necessarily. It's really fast. It should have done it over a longer period of time. Probably tried to eat a little bit more calories per day, or maybe even exercise a little bit less, because yes, I did lose that weight. Like I said, I was kind of scrawny, so I wasn't happy with the way I looked at the end of it. And then, unfortunately, I rebounded. I rebounded pretty bad. I got pretty fat again fairly quickly. I kept up with the exercise, so I didn't turn into the full piece of shit mode again. But, I definitely ballooned up pretty quickly, because just by adding carbohydrates back in, from being so strict, no carbohydrates, really strict on my diet, and then you kind of, you just slip up one time, and then you kind of just let it go. And the fluctuation of the carbohydrates and everything in your system, you blow up. You put on a lot of water weight really fast, and it can be hard mentally to deal with that. So honestly, my advice is to be more conservative. Again, don't necessarily do what I do, but if you really need to lose a bunch of fat really fast, this does work. It's just not going to be necessarily sustainable, right? I'm going to do a different video on sustainable weight loss, and then how to actually put on muscle once, you've dieted down to the right body fat percentage, because that's a whole nother thing in and of itself. Putting on muscle is a whole different thing than losing fat. And, the way that you eat is going to be different. A lot of times the way you train is going to be different. A lot of these things are different. So again, this video is about losing fat and losing it fast. So to recap, right? Cut carbohydrates, hitting 2-a-day exercises, cardio and weight training. I was weight training 5 days a week. Cardio was 5 or 6 days a week. I went in and I really, gave it my all. And I was able to lose those 50, 60 pounds of fat. And, it was about 3 months. So, it worked. Would I suggest it? Not necessarily, because you are going to rebound. And again, you're going to have to deal with putting on muscle at the end, because you're going to be just a scrawny little string bean if you do what I did. But you won't be fat anymore. So if the main priority right now is to lose that fat because you're just sick of it, this will work. All right? I guarantee you it will work. You're going to lose weight. So, hey, if you made it this far, man, thank you. Thank you to my subscribers. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you got more questions on this, please leave me a comment, let me know. I can elaborate on other things or, whatever it may be. In the future, another video will be dropping soon on how to put on muscle. And again, this is going to be different than losing fat. So, hey, peace out, guys.